On my kicker tonight, darkness is becoming part of the equation, if not the ultimate component of elections in Africa. Several elections ago, I stood in the middle of a dark hall at the Kenyatta International Conference Center, KICC, Nairobi. The switching off of lights marked the beginning of the final rituals. The dark room was quickly emptied as the Red Beret General Service Unit GSU officers roughed us up and herded everyone towards the exit. Outside, nightfall was fast approaching, and from the horizon I could see black smoke replacing the setting sun, and shortly it was dark. I walked back to the newsroom several blocks away and to a television screen where the then Electoral Commission of Kenya Chairman Samuel Kivuitu announced the final presidential election results. Let me spare you the details. But of note here is it started with a dark room, the act of switching off lights, the action of inviting darkness to play its role. So, for 6 days last week, Tanzania was in the dark. The internet was switched off. From social media platforms to streaming services, it all went black. For the first time around East African newsrooms, including here in Nairobi, an unprecedented absence of information was occasioned. There were no pictures from Tanzania, no videos, no scripts, no phone calls, no live links, nothing. It was all dark over Tanzania. The darkness, both literal and figurative, covered the entire East Africa's largest country. The efficiency of the shutdown comparable to none of all previous regional crackdowns. One notable outcome was this shutdown was death and fear. Few sources daring to overcome fear started sharing somehow short videos that told of a story of horror that was in progress in Tanzania. Then we started seeing bodies, most of them bearing bullet wounds, others badly mutilated. Then there were injuries, gory images of young people writhing in pain with gaping bullet wounds on their limbs. These images confirmed what had transpired under the cover of the 6-day darkness. The media, which is usually the source of information, was nowhere to be seen in Tanzania. The media, like it did in KICC 2007, only emerged at the tail end of the darkness when the electoral body was ready with the desired results. INEC, that's the Tanzanian Electoral Commission, declared that President Samia Suluhu Hassan had garnered, get this, over 31 million votes. That's the highest ever number of votes recorded in Tanzanian presidential elections. All this after the long cover of darkness, where no information was available. No voters, no pictures of voters in polling stations, no queues, no videos of vote counting or even tallying, not even provisional declarations from polling stations. Everything happened in a short sequence, which can be described in 3 steps. Step 1, election day. Step 2, darkness. And step 3, election results. Now, I'm not sure member countries of the East African community often share lessons, but this, I beg, should not be one of them. That script is just flawed, but also very dangerous. Democratic elections by nature are about openness transparency, and accountability. Here in Kenya, it is a constitutional requirement that elections are verifiable from process to results. And when the Supreme Court in Kenya in 2017 could not find the electronic transmission of results verifiable, it nullified the election result outright. But for election results to be verifiable, one thing that must be present at all times is light. That can either be natural, which is daylight, or generated light, which is whatever light we use at night. The two that went literally missing in Tanzania between election day and, let me call it, results day. However, one thing is certain: sunrise is inevitable, however long a night is. And sunrise proves the futility of darkness. That is why in Tanzania, it could be said in Kiswahili, kumepambazuka. And we are now starting to hear a lot of stories, a lot of things being said about those dark days. Sasa, tega sikio. That is my kicker.